Okay, so welcome back to the few people who choose to watch my content. Thanks for your support. Honestly, I have no idea if I've never made a what's on my phone video, but since I have the OnePlus 10 Pro for a couple of weeks, I thought I would share my Android setup and the apps I use the most. An iPhone video will be out later this summer. Now I am using the default OnePlus launcher here, and in most cases, I actually never tend to use a third-party launcher. Now every phone I have used has always had a two-page layout. There is the main homepage with the most used apps and the secondary with a couple of widgets and a few other apps. Of course, to the left we have the Google feed. As you can see, I am using a custom icon pack. Shout out to OnePlus for allowing users to do that. Now this is the Ycons. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but this pack looks really nice and classic, especially with a dark wallpaper. I do have a few others installed as well and occasionally switch them out based on the wallpaper I use. Now speaking of wallpapers, I am using this one from backdrops, but with a little twist. We'll talk about that in a minute. Now the main page is actually pretty clean. Let's start from the top and make our way down. I do have the default OnePlus weather and the date widget. Below that I have the Google search widget, which comes in handy when I quickly need to Google something. And then I have the most used apps at the bottom. There is the settings app that is actually much easier to access from here rather than swiping down from the notification tab. Right next to it, I have all the social media apps that I tend to use. As you can notice, I don't use Snapchat. For some reason, it just never clicked with me. Now one app worth mentioning here, especially for any Indians watching this video, is InShorts. I have been using this app since its launch back in 2015, I believe. Now the gist of the app is to provide you with any news information in 60 words or less. It also has one of the cleanest interfaces. You can swipe up for the next article, swipe left to read the news in detail, and swipe right for more controls. Now it's a really great app that I highly recommend to anyone around the world. And then the only game I have on this phone or any other phone for that matter is Angry Birds 2. I have been playing this game for the past 2 years and I am a member of a Canadian clan, so I tend to play it every day. Then we have the Office apps folder related to my work, nothing special. Finally, we have the Google folder containing all the Google apps that I tend to use, and from the looks of it, there are so many that I use. Finally, at the bottom, we have the 5 most used apps. Now, since I am from India, WhatsApp is pretty much the default messaging service. And then we move to the right page. Here I have 2 basic widgets. The first one is the Memories widget from Google Photos. This is something that I really enjoy looking at. Being able to see where I was a few years ago and how far I've come along is really sweet. But you know what else is sweet? Seeing the subscriber numbers going up. So go on, hit that subscribe button. Now the next widget is the Music widget. Since I daily an iPhone, I typically use Apple Music. I installed it on the OnePlus 10 Pro and man is it bad. It is actually straight up garbage. It never refreshes with the song I'm playing. It feels really laggy and choppy, and it just really shows that Apple doesn't care about their Android app. Now below that, I have a few more folders of apps I don't use too much but still come in handy a few times a day. The first folder contains a sports app called CrickBuzz. Being from India, I do follow cricket quite a lot, and with the IPL going on, cricket fever is full on. I use PixArt and Snapseed to edit photos or even videos for TikTok. Now the next folder contains all the food apps. I swear I don't eat too much junk food. These are there on the rare occasion I need them. Then I have 2 of my personal favorite wallpaper apps, Backdrops and Wally. Backdrops is obviously the go-to wallpaper app for so many users. Now at the start of the video, I talked about using a twist in Backdrops for my wallpapers. When you go to apply a wallpaper inside the app, instead of just clicking on set, long press it. This will open up a new interface where you can click on this light bulb icon and the phone or the app, I'm not sure about that, but it will generate more wallpapers similar to the color palette of the initial wallpaper. Now I tried using this on an iPhone and a Pixel and it doesn't work. I'm not sure about Samsung phones. Maybe it's just OnePlus phones, but it is really a neat implementation. Wally is another great community-based wallpaper app, highly recommended from myself. Now the next folder contains my banking apps, and right next to those is Shazam, really helpful in situations where I can't recognize a song, and believe me, there are plenty. Well, that's my setup. Obviously nothing crazy going on here. I am thinking about experimenting more with these in the future, maybe a third-party launcher, along with some KWGT widgets. Well, that's it for this video guys, thanks for watching, be sure to subscribe and I'll see you guys in the next one.